Thanks everybody for being here. Eureka City Manager Greg Sparks, Chief Andy Mills, and as everyone knows, this is the day that we are moving the illegal encampments here in the open space area of the Eureka waterfront, sometimes called Palco Marsh. And as you can see, this is a large operation involving not only EPD, Humboldt Bay Fires here, we have other departments that are here, Finance Administration, Public Works, Park and Recreation, Development Services. So this is really a joint collaborative effort among the city. Then we have outside agencies as well. I know Humboldt County is here. Who else do we have? Chief, Coast Guard flying up above.
That's about it.
Okay, I think that. And you know, at this point, we've only had one arrest today. That was on a person who protested, did not want to leave the area. We have not had any arrests of those who are in the process of leaving our designated these camping areas. So that part is going pretty well. We're addressing people's needs for storage. We were prepared to address dogs and other animals, and as of this morning, no one has surrendered an animal, but we've had Humane Society staff and animal control on site to help people address any dog issues. We've been shrink wrapping various property, and we've been addressing from the court order with the 11 plaintiffs. As those 11 plaintiffs, I know 7 of them already are housed with Betty Chin at the Mercer Fraser property, and I think we're still trying to identify the other needs of the 4, whether or not they'll be going there or some other location. With that, I'll turn it over to Chief Mills, and we'll answer some questions.
So this morning at 0700 hours, officers briefed up to put a plan in place to come out here and restore the Palco Marsh to an area for all Eurekans, not just those camping illegally. We've worked really hard to try to find housing for everybody who desires it. We've opened the new Connex Box location, St. Vincent de Paul, the rescue mission, and we currently believe that we have more than enough bed space for those who desire to have a roof over their head. And I'd like to really thank all of those who stepped up to find creative solutions in a very short period of time. The other thing that is probably important for you to know is that we've had, as you can see, pretty much unfettered access by the media to everything that we've been doing. We want this to be a very transparent and straightforward process, one that all Eurekans can have confidence in, that was handled appropriately. We've also had independent observers out here from the Independent Observer Organization, as well as a whole host of the local clergy, observing every police action, and everything up to this point has been videotaped as well by Cal North adjusters, as well as body cameras, which all the supervisors are wearing. I just really want to thank all of the personnel of city staff. They've really operated as one big team, trying to make this area safe and where everybody can come and enjoy it. And as well as the EPD officers. You know, when you sign up for this job, this is not one of the things you had in your mind that you'd be doing. But nonetheless, they've stepped up to the plate and smacked it out of the park. So I'd like to really thank all the city staff working together harmoniously to make this happen in a very systematic, organized, and straightforward fashion. There was no surprise. This has been coming for months. We've warned them countless times. We've given them flyers, giving them opportunity to get housed. And as you can see, some people have waited to the 12th hour to even attempt to move, and in spite of us having options for them. So we are moving forward, and I'm very glad that we have not had to arrest anybody for illegal camping. We've only arrested one person, as the manager said, and that was for a person who was trying to make a statement. And you know, God bless our First Amendment rights here in this great country. So that's all I have, and certainly take any questions that you might have for the manager or myself.
The person that was arrested self-identified as a protester? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
How long is this operation supposed to last in terms of the cleanup? Is it going to be weeks, days?
I hope not weeks, because all of us are pretty tired. But we should be done, I would guess, the way the speed at which we're moving right now and the amount of resources we're pouring into this, I would hope we'd be done the next few days. And then it'll be a maintenance operation. We will continue to come back through here and make sure that people are not recamping or in this area. You know, I also want to acknowledge the city attorney. Cindy Day Wilson has really done a yeoman's work, or yeowoman's work, as it were, to make sure that we're staying on track legally. We asked her for legal opinions on 4th and 8th Amendment issues, and they were right straight up with it. And so, really think that was critical in us moving forward in an expeditious way.
What kind of illegal items
Well, we brought a great, capacity to collect Sharpies, but we actually had a call for more because it overwhelmed what we were able to collect. So Humboldt Bay Fire and others were able to bring us more Sharpies. You know, and there's a fine line between enabling and being an advocate. And for those that are out here delivering spoons and tie-offs and things like that, we really need to think clearly as a community. That's not harm reduction, that's harm engagement, in my opinion. And we want clean needles so that we don't have people infecting themselves with HIV or Hep C, but to enable is a completely different story. Now, of course, that's just my opinion, but that's one of the things we see out here. We have this many needles being collected in one location. Something's off kilter.
One of the campsites, a whole bunch of look like IDs and credit cards that were burnt. Such was there a lot of that, or has it been a lot?
Yeah, I don't know. No. No, from this point forward, we will vigorously enforce all camping laws in the city. As well as panhandling, as well as shopping carts. You know, look, it's not the people. What we're after is the behavior. And what we want people to do is make this the greatest city in the North Coast, and I think it is. So part of that is making sure that when people drive into town here, that they're comfortable, and that the Eurekans are comfortable. So the behavior has to stop, including theft. And so we want to make sure that stops, and hopefully this will give them all a break.
So we heard on the scanner that you were actually numbering all the campsites. Was that done prior to this whole operation by the police?
So you can see behind the city council persons here that we have an overhead map of the entire area, and each campsite is numbered. So it's just for logistical purposes, so that we know who we're dealing with and what campsite we're dealing with. And so that it's one of those things where it's very clear where we are and what we're doing and what we find at those locations. And you can see this broken into phases, and that's just an operational issue so that we can describe to our officers where they're going first and what they're doing, and then how do we adjust from there. And then we have contingency plans for literally everything under the sun. And of course, we didn't expect to have this kind of sun today, so.
The items going to be reused, or how are these items going to be sorted? There's just a ton of stuff out there. How are you going to sort through it, figure out what's useful and what's going to be a cost?
We're not going to sort through it.
Not going to sort through it?
No, if it's their property, we're shrink wrapping it and holding on to it for them for 90 days. So go into Connex boxes that we have delivered here, and we'll make it accessible to them as they need it. Not every day, but we want to make it as convenient as possible. And if it's just discarded trash, then it's just getting thrown out.
Where's the locations being stored again?
Right here.
Oh, right here? Okay.
Yeah. Only because this is where the Connex boxes are, and how do you move a heavy Connex box? So
What's the criteria you're using as far as what gets thrown away and what gets stored?
Well, if it's their property, we're going to store it. So if they're abandoning their property and telling us that, then we're going to throw it away.
Okay. It seems like even at abandoned camps, it seemed like people were binning stuff up to go in the Connex boxes.
Well, we want to make doubly sure that we're not throwing out somebody's property. What if they just went to the store for a few minutes? I don't know how they had missed it today with all this going on, but we just want to make sure that if there's somebody's property there, that we take care of it. We're trying to be good stewards of their person and their property.
Well, Chief.
And, you know, I don't, but it was under 100.
Question had just gone to Chief Mills a minute ago about the storage of property and the forklift that just pulled up a pallet or 2 pallets over there on the other side of property that's shrink wrapped that's going to be stored. If it's little stuff, it's bins. If it's big stuff, it's on pallets being held.
Okay, any other questions that we might answer for you? You know, this was, and I don't want to speak for council, but this was a difficult decision. I know people wrestled with it. But this is one of those things where all of us have very strong feelings about helping people and doing what's best for people. And so I just, you know, want to say thank you to those who have stood behind us and have really pushed hard to make this the greatest city up here. And I think that's the message that I want to bring to people, is that this is a great city. Let's move forward from here on out and make sure that we do the things that we can do.
I think the other thing we said too is that camping in an area without water, sewer, electricity, that's just not a good option. There are better options available within the community for shelter. We've come up with some things in the short term. The council, working with the County Board of Supervisors, has been committed to a housing first strategy for the past year. We're seeing a lot of success with the repurposing of the Multiple Assistance Center this past summer, July 1st, and working with DHHS, we're continuing to see a number of people housed through various rapid rehousing programs. We will continue that focus over this next 6 months, reaching out to both landlords, property management companies, trying to identify appropriate housing to help get people into.
Look at it this way, so far the City of Eureka, working with the Department of Health and Human Services, has housed over 100 people. That's 100 people that would have been houseless. And I think that's an incredible number for a city this size. And so I really, again, want to applaud all the people that have done that, from our MIST team, our POP team who's been out here for over 2 months, almost every day, as well as the patrol officers who find somebody and compassionately shift them to the right resources. So I think this is a win-win up to this point, and we'll continue to move forward. Thank you.